What's up, internet people? We made it. It's episode 4 of Ask Broman podcast, where you can ask me anything. We record it live on Twitch. Not really anything, though, but, you know, anything that you want to learn and that I might be able to help with, I am here for you. So, let's get right into the questions with this guy. His name is Chef Coots, and he has something he'd like to say, I'm sure. Hello, Chef Coots. What can I do for you today, my friend? So sometimes when we're doing this, people are still learning the software that they're using to talk to me, which means
there we go.
Oh, hi, Chef Coots. You're very loud. Give me a second. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all good, bro. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Yourself?
I am great. What can I do for you today, kind sir?
Well, my question's more fitness related, if that's okay.
That's fine, dude. I work out.
Okay. I know. You've actually been a really big inspiration to me, and I would like to say thank you for that first off.
Oh. In what way? You have a 2-year-old son. Okay.
I have a 2-year-old son, and I lived kind of an unhealthy lifestyle. I'm 15 years recovered from drugs and stuff. I won't go in deep, but I beat my body up. And
well, first of all, congratulations. 15 years sober is a hell of an achievement.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Not a lot of people want to give me the credit for it and don't realize how hard it actually is.
Addiction's a bastard. The fact that you've got it beat is for 15 years is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So I kind of, it destroyed my body like drugs and alcohol do.
Sure.
And so I've been pretty lazy, and ever since I started watching you, I've always been motivated to kind of get up and start working out, but I run into these walls where I'll hit a wall and I won't want to do it again, and I'll want to go back to being my old self, being lazy, and I don't want to be like that.
Sure.
I want to be a good father for my son, and I want to be around and active with him. Basically, what do you do when you hit those walls?
Sure. So for me, I'll just tell you what derails me from my fitness stuff. Okay. So for me, I'm a workaholic, right? I think that we are all aware of that here.
Yeah.
And so when I get really busy, I'm like, man, you know what I shouldn't do today is exercise. So I tend to, that's what derails me, and then trying to get back on it's tough. I always find that when I'm trying to motivate myself to do anything, it doesn't have to be fitness, it's literally anything. I usually think about two things. One is why, which is, of course, what everyone's going to tell you to do. Think about why you want to do it. Just think about the reasons and feel really good about how you're following and you're like, shut the fuck up. I don't care.
That's how I always feel.
Yeah. So you're just like, no, I don't. I actually don't care about any of these reasons. And if you could just shut the hell up, happy voice lady, that'd be neat. So I think about that. And then I think about sunken cost. Do you know what I mean when I say sunken cost? So basically,
spending money that
usually, but I think about it with time, right? I've already invested a fuck ass ton of time in working out and trying to stay in shape, and I don't want to throw away 4 years of being in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
4 years of working hard. Because positive motivation does not fucking work for me. It never has. Only negative reinforcement tends to puncture whatever stubbornness is inside of my brain. So I like to think about
the same way.
Yeah, I like to think about how much I would hate myself if I just gave up, right? I understand needing to take a day. But you just don't that always motivates me. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking give up. I'm gonna do something. Yeah, I'm not gonna be an idiot. I'm not gonna be one of those sad sob stories online about well, this guy was in great shape and now he can't get off of his couch. I don't want to be that guy. So my hope is, whenever I do that, it tends to snap me out of whatever self-loathing that I have. And don't shy away from negative reinforcement, right? I feel like a lot of folks are really afraid to be oh God, I just always want to be nice to myself. No, fuck that. Fuck always being nice to yourself. Sometimes you need to be an asshole to yourself so you realize what the hell you're doing.
I'm literally my own worst enemy to myself. A lot of my friends and my wife, I'll say the worst things about myself before anyone else can.
Yeah.
And then they ask me why, and I'm like, because that takes away power from you, and it puts the power into me.
We think very similarly. Yeah. So like when I was when I was in high school, this is like a total side tangent, but like I used to get made fun of a lot because I looked a little silly. I was like on Ritalin, so I was like really skinny. I don't think I broke like 100 pounds until I was in 10th grade. Like I was a scrawny fucking guy. But what I would do is I would sit in my I would sit in my bathroom and I would look in the mirror and I would pick out everything about myself I didn't like. And then I'd be like, yeah, like you weird-eared, non-level eyeball having son of a bitch, you know? And that's like one of the ways that I motivated myself. So what it sounds like to me is like you want to do this because like you've obviously dedicated 15 years of your life to a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I've been trying.
You have, like, that's the thing is like
done it. There you go.
Yeah, you have. It's not that you're trying. You got sober, which for 15 years, which is already a huge, like, that's such a big thing. So like, I don't, if I was you, I'd look back on that and I would just look at fitness like the continuation of that journey, you know, and think about how you don't want to lose all the hard work that you've already put in getting sober because, you know, you replace drugs and alcohol with just being a lazy fat shit, which is what I do.
and I was an athlete and stuff when I grew, you know, when I was a kid, and it's like now that I've gotten sober and everything, I still feel like I'm like undoing the brainwash of drugs even 15 years later. And it's starting to make me like realize and remember things and stuff that I used to be like and the way I used to be, and I really loved myself before drugs, and it's like I'm trying to reach back and grab onto that.
Sure.
But I know that some of that is in my past, and then I have to move forward, you know, into my future, and I have to like go with some of that past things.
Well, you have the right goddamn mindset. You know, I think it's just a matter of being a little bit more kind to yourself, like in acknowledging your accomplishments. But then being an absolute, like, no bullshit hard ass on yourself when it comes to accomplishing your goals.
And my end goal is to run a Spartan race and a Tough Mudder.
Fuck yeah, dude. Those things are nuts. I can't do those things. My back's destroyed. I mean, I'm sure I could do them eventually, but like, yeah, that's some stuff I'd love to get into, but I can't currently. We'll take the journey together. You know?
Yes.
Like,
man, I watch you every day, so.
Yeah. You know, I went from being completely incapacitated for about 2 years because of a back injury to, you know, getting back into powerlifting and doing stuff that I was told there's no way, like, you just really shouldn't try and do this again. And I found a good coach and they were like, well, yeah, I mean, you need to be careful. As long as you're careful, you could probably make it. And it's just surrounding yourself with positive people, which unfortunately for a lot of folks, their family is, you know, they baby them like, oh, everything's great. So you need to be honest with yourself because everyone else might just be trying to be too nice to you, and then and keep going. What's the I love when we do stuff like this because I feel like then we can do something really cool, which is like a follow-up show in like 3 months. So
I'd be more than willing to.
Yeah, what are you currently doing right now to get in shape? I'm curious.
I got a gym membership at Anytime Fitness.
Sweet.
And I'm like 116 pounds, so I'm a small frame, 5'7".
Gotcha. So are you trying to put on weight?
I'm trying to put on weight. It's just a matter of, you know, buying all the food and everything and trying to keep up on bills and stuff. So I've just been trying to do protein shakes.
Yeah.
The trainer at the gym suggested a GVT, German volume training for me.
Sure.
So I started doing that with the 10 reps or 10 sets of 10 reps with a minute and a half rest in between.
German volume training is a son of a bitch. I've never been able to complete those workouts. Well, okay.
Today's leg day, and I'm going to have to do everything I can to push myself through it. But I feel like after this conversation, it's going to help me a little bit too, because I'm going to remember this talk in my head. You know?
Yeah, but also like make sure like if you're not enjoying it at all, make sure you change what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I figured I would try it for as long as I could, and then give up on it. Other than that, I mean, then I've been running on a treadmill. You know,
sounds like you're fucking killing it, dude. Yeah.
I like when I play Fortnite and I die, whatever rank I get up and do like 36 push-ups, 20 burpees, something, you know. I kind of
This
train.
guy, listen, everyone who's listening right now, this guy has like the gamer strategy pack. Like I used to do that shit in when I was seventh grade, Final Fantasy VII, right? Every time I would wipe when I was fighting like Omega or Ruby weapon or whatever, I would like have to do like it was scaling, so it was like 10 push-ups the first time, 15 the second time, and it got fucking brutal. But like, yeah, that's what I would do. Like figuring out ways to, you know, incorporate it into your everyday life is huge. So
And
yeah,
then it
man.
motivates me to not die and get like 36th place.
This
you
guy
know,
with
so
the
that way I
Caleb. Do you know who Caleb Hart is on Twitch?
I do not.
Okay, he's a Mega Man speedrunner. He's a longtime friend of mine, and he is also he is a fitness fanatic. So he might be someone that would like you really. It's Caleb Hart 42 on Twitch, I think. So like watching him and chatting with him and hanging out there might also help you. Caleb's a little bit further down the fitness road because he didn't have like, you know, the 2-year setback that I had. But yeah, he's an awesome guy, and he is all about helping people get in shape, and he is fucking jacked. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I used to watch another streamer. Never mind. I'm not going to mention names. Never mind.
You can. I just mentioned a name. Was it Bajira?
No, I know. No, it was Censor.
Okay.
Phase Censor.
No, yeah, he's fucking jacked too, man.
Yeah.
I am always impressed by
me.
anybody who is like an esports competitor or a broadcaster that can maintain a like healthy fitness regimen. Like that's a level of discipline that I don't fucking possess yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah.
That's another thing. Like I'm trying to balance my wife, my son, of course, gaming, and then working out. And I have a job that I throw in between too, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's complicated. It's a constant process. But so yeah, I mean, like, you know, it's that balance of being a hard ass and giving yourself a little bit of grace at the same time. To make sure you accomplish your goals, but you take some time, you know, once a week, or like take some time to like I did something. Like we all we all suck shit. Those of us that are like you and I that are very hard on ourselves, ever giving ourselves credit. So like that's another thing that helped me is be a hard ass, but take some time every week and appreciate like the hard work that you've done, because that will keep you motivated. So yeah, man. That's what I got for you. Thanks for the awesome.
No, that was perfect.
You asked a fucking great question. I wasn't expecting to talk about fitness today. That's cool. For those of you listening on iTunes, I'm not a fucking fitness expert.
No.
So before you like rip me apart and you're like, yeah, well, actually, like I eat my ass. I don't care.
He may not be a fitness expert, but he's a great motivator and inspires people.
No, you're a nice guy. Matters. You're a nice guy, Shep.
Thank you.
Cool. Do you do any social media stuff? Do you want to push anything that you've got going on, or is it?
Well, I mean, I have I do Twitch or Twitter and Instagram, and then I recently, because of Newsome Ninja's question, decided to try and do streaming, but I guess that is another question. As a beginner, would Mixer be okay to start out on?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. I will tell you this. If Twitch didn't have exclusivity in my partnership contract, I would be streaming on Mixer and Twitch at the same time.
Okay.
Because you never know where the future of technology is going to go, right?
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is like, look, if you put time into Mixer and it tanks, whatever, you learned how to broadcast on Mixer and now you can stream on Twitch. But like, what if Mixer becomes like, what if they do something in 2 years that just dominates the streaming space, right?
Then you're already there.
Everyone, you're already there and you're already established, and getting there first is huge. So I would, if you're feeling it, if you're looking at the features they have as a broadcaster and you're like, I like this, I dig this, then go for it there, man. It's cool that as someone who wants to stream anything, options exist now, because you know when I started there were no options. So look at the features that all the sites have and make your decision. You know, Microsoft is a good backer to have on a platform.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft has always been around, so I guess then other than that, my Mixer name is, Chef Coots.
Yeah.
my Twitter and Instagram are Yankee Doodle Gooner. It's without. I'm a an American Arsenal fan, soccer
Gotcha.
football club fan. So I'm the
Gotcha.
Yankee Doodle Gooner. It's missing an e. It's spelt a little like it's spelt like it's supposed to be, but
You got to clean
I
that
had to
shit
take
up.
a couple letters out.
You gotta clean that shit up.
I know. But that's it though. I appreciate the time and I appreciate everything that you do for the stream, and I love this community, and thank you for doing what you do for
I love
St.
you
Jude
back,
as
man.
well.
Thank you for getting on here and asking questions. And thank you so much for like, I don't know, being so open about sharing about your past and addiction. I know that will probably help someone somewhere who's listening. Like, fuck, this guy can do it. I can do it. So like, seriously, thank you. You're already a
That's
champion.
all.
So
That's all I've ever wanted to do with my story, is be able
share
to
it.
share it a little
Fuck
bit.
yeah,
And
dude. Guys,
help
go
someone.
follow Chef Coots. What a great guy. What an awesome dude. And yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll see you in chat, and I'll talk to you later, bro.
All right, cheers, brother.
You have an awesome one, dude. Peace. Chef Coots, man, that is a like, okay, like listen, Coots has been in my channel. For those of you on listening, he has been a viewer on my channel for a very long time. And one of the things that I always push to broadcasters is like, you don't, like, everyone behind a username on Twitter or on Twitch or anywhere, like there's a whole person with a whole life story behind all that, and you don't know, like, if someone's being an asshole to you, like, you don't know if they're just having a bad day, like, you don't know the whole life that they've lived. And that was an insanely, I don't know, for me it was an eye-opening example. Like, Coots is guy, he's had some struggle, man, but he's overcome that, and that's like, to me, that is inspiring. Like, that keeps me going. So that was awesome. So okay, fucking, I'm reeling a little bit, but let's keep going. Let's get Quayne. This is My Name is Quayne right here. My name is Quayne. Quayne's a fun word. Hey,
bro,
dude, what's up?
man.
What's up? Let me turn you down real. I need to get good at this. People are going to like listen on iTunes. They're gonna be like, every time this Broman fuck brings in a new person, it hurts my ears. When's he gonna learn to turn them down?
It's just straight ear rape every time.
Every time people are just screaming in your ears. How you doing, man? What can I do for you today?
Man, I'm doing a lot better now that you picked me up on the call. Feels good.
Oh, all right, man. That's why we do it. Make people happy.
My question for you. So, I'm a YouTuber, and
Okay.
I've been trying to put on the best show that I can for my audience.
Sure.
And I was wondering if you think that it's worth it to get books on like improv and books on like how to tell jokes and that kind of stuff, just to keep running jokes alive.
Interesting question. Before I answer that, let me ask you something. Do you find yourself, like, is comedy a natural part of like your life and delivery?
Yes,
Like,
I
okay.
love just
Okay, sure.
making jokes.
So
and
I just,
one-liners
yeah,
with
I
my
wanted to make
friends.
sure you, so the first, like, for those of you listening, the reason I asked that question is if he would have said no, we would have had a different conversation. Because if comedy is not part of your everyday life, you don't need to try and force it in there, because it's not a strength that you have, and it could decelerate any, work that you're doing. But since you're saying, yeah, so like you watch stand up, like you kind of stay current with comedy, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, stand-up sitcoms are my favorite, man. I love comedy. I love being that guy in the group to just give the one-liners that makes everybody laugh. I love being that guy.
Okay, so if you feel like that's a place where you're lacking, like improvisational skills and things like that, it's definitely worth investing some time in. I did improv for basically like all of high school for me. It was sort of like a release valve for my life. So I did that, and then I did some stand-up comedy like right after high school when I knew jack shit about life, and so I always bombed. But like the process of that, like learning techniques and crowd work and stage work and the improvisational techniques definitely played well to a strength they already have, which helps me broadcast better. So like I would recommend it. Is there any particular books you're looking at?
There were a couple. There was one that was on Barnes & Noble called The Improv Handbook.
Sure. Let me. Oh shit! There was a book that I read. Hang on. Now I gotta fucking Google this. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, there's The Art of Comedy Making. I don't remember any of these authors, man. I'm just trying to get through
Yeah.
brief history of time.
I'm trying to find. Oh, this is it. Okay. So there's a book that I read, and it's called Truth in Comedy, a manual for improvisation. Del Close is one of the authors, and it's sort of a story, right, of folks who did a lot of improv at Second City, and the way that they approached crowd work, and like the way that they grew as you know, comedians and things like that. Because I think another huge part about learning how to do comedy, and like, you learn how to fucking do comedy, like anyone who's listening, like it is a fucking acquired skill that you have to work hard at. Like, you can have talent, but you still have to work. So this is like, it's just a great, it talks, like, it gives practical stuff, but it's also like a journey about how things were approached, and it gives you an insight as to like how certain forms of comedy are like put together. Like, I'm about to ruin Seinfeld for you if you didn't know this, but every episode of Seinfeld is written like a style of improvisational show called well, back in the day, I don't know what it's called now, it's a Herald, right? So it's 3 scenes and then a final scene that ties together elements of every single scene. So Seinfeld is typically 3 separate stories that all come together at the end, and you're like, oh wow, how did they think of that? Well, this is how, because it's a classical technique. So that's that's really cool. I have a couple counterpoints to stuff that you'll probably read. Okay. So one of the biggest, especially in Truth and Comedy, and like the rules for improvisation, is assume that your audience, okay, assume that they're all geniuses. And this is like a mental technique to help you make like more intelligent jokes. I have found on the internet, like, if you're used to making just assume people are dumb. Okay. Because there's a huge difference, okay, between doing crowd work, okay, where you have a set, you have a room, like you have a room and you have you have a room of people that it's of a set size that you're interacting with, right? Well, on Twitch, you have an infinitely scaling room, okay? Like, it could be 30,000 people. Right. And when you have that many people in a room together, groupthink is huge. So if one person doesn't get your joke and they're like, I don't get it, everyone will just decide to not understand your joke on purpose. And I've seen it happen to me. I've seen it happen to other broadcasters. I've seen it happen, like, where someone would sell a fucking joke and I would just die laughing in my chair, and everyone's like, you're a fucking idiot, you don't know shit, you're fucking stupid, why would you even try talking, you fucking go die. You know, and I'm over here rolling, and the broadcaster feels like shit because they feel like they made a joke and it didn't connect, but it did. So you're not going to get like honest feedback from the crowd, which is another, I guess, like hurdle that you have to overcome when you're online. So, and then also, especially since you're doing YouTube, all that stuff is fucking permanent, which makes it like sort of a weird space, because you could make a joke that is hilarious in context, but somebody could clip that shit out of context and be like, look at this guy, he's horrible. And that, I mean, you've seen that happen how many times on social media about one person or another, where, you know, they have to come out and explain like, no, this wasn't context, blah, blah, blah. So just like, you know, like when you're doing comedy, you have to make sure you're taking chances and stuff, but you have to be a little bit cognizant of the long term of what you're doing. Not that you like, I mean, comedy is about fucking pushing limits, you know, but there are appropriate and inappropriate places to push those limits. And I personally feel like, you know, a gaming YouTube channel is probably not the place. Okay. Does that make sense? Like, you don't need some fucking, you know, Richard Pryor, like really fucking pushing like the limits of what is tasteful or not tasteful, or Daniel Tosh, or I don't like literally like name any comedian, like like there's an appropriate forum for that. And I think that a lot of times, and this is where a lot of YouTubers and broad Twitch broadcasters get caught up, is you can push a little bit too far, and since what you're saying doesn't match the format, it can come back and bite your ass. And I want to tell you that now so it doesn't happen to you.
Right. But at the same time, though, pushing those formats, that would kind of pander to building a community that surrounds your specific sense of humor, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Yes. Right. So now you're talking about like the logistics of it, right? But what if that is your style of humor, right?
Yeah.
In that case, if that truly is, like, if you are the kind of guy that is always telling like the almost too offensive joke, you need to learn how to get really fucking good at doing that, right, so that people think you're a genius and not an asshole.
Right.
And that's the hard work, right? Is learning how to take a swing at a joke, and you're like, okay, this is out there, and making sure that even if you miss and everyone's like, that was kind of a little bit too far, they're not coming after you with pitchforks to try and light you on fire. There's like, I'm a big believer that there is a way to frame any conversation properly, so that it can be, you can talk about it without pissing people off. Right. And it takes time and effort to do that. And most people aren't willing to put in that time and effort. So they'll just say some dumb shit and be like, oh, LOL, JK, it was just a joke. And everyone's like, motherfucker, that shit wasn't a joke. So just learning how to frame everything. Like, if that's your style of comedy, I'm not trying to like inhibit you. You just need to be ready to take some hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you very much.
Was that helpful at all? I feel like I kind of told you shitty things instead of great things.
Oh no, it was great. There are definitely sometimes I'll be going in and editing videos and being like, that joke maybe went too far, so I'll just cut the whole joke.
So you're already really good at self-editing.
Yeah. Well, beauty of YouTube. If I was a Twitch streamer, it'd probably be a little
I see. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's awesome. Can you tell everybody where to find you on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and everywhere?
Yo, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. It's My Name is Quain.
All right. Can you spell? So it's My Name is, and can you spell Quain for everyone?
Quain.
I like the way you said that. He's a funny guy. I can tell you. I can tell by how he said his name. What do you usually upload? What sort of stuff? Like when can people expect to see your shit?
I try to upload 9 times a week, so once a day.
9 times a week. That's good, man. So you're really just about refining your craft and being patient right now to grow your shit, which is fucking super cool, man. I love it. I love all it. Make sure you go sub to this guy. My Name is Quain on YouTube. If he comes out in a scandal 5 years from now as ultra famous, just look back on this and realize I tried to stop him. Okay.
When I crash and burn, Broman,
when you fucking flame out, and you're like,
there's no relation.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, man. This was like, God, really good conversations today. You have an awesome day, man. Thank you so much. Hey, pick up that book, Truth in Comedy.
I've got it pulled up right now. Thanks, bro.
Awesome, bro. You have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Interesting other story. When I was finished with college and unemployed, or I dropped out of my master's program and I was unemployed, I had to start selling books on Amazon, like all of my old textbooks. And that was one of the books that I sold. And it was one that I couldn't ship because some guy on Amazon, I shipped him like $500 worth of textbooks. And then he claimed that he never received them. He did. So I was barred from selling anything on Amazon for like 3 years. So that's what looking up that book, those are the memories that it brought back to me, for sure. Comedy's tough, man. I like talking about comedy. I didn't realize I remembered so much about it. What a fun, like, this is good shit. Follow that guy, man. Follow that guy. Before we go through any more here, I want to get some subs. If you're listening on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter or fucking podcast, this is going to sound weird, but I need to do it because these are respectful people that are helping support the channel. Musty Rusty, Codman, Stego, Tones, Scotty Rage, Sir Burps a Lot, Thin Bear, and Lou Thank you all for the subs and resubs, fucking respectively. I love you all. You're incredible. And Lou with the tier 3 with the platinum. Thank you very much, man. Okay. Let's get this guy. Let's get this guy. He's been interacting with me on Twitter. This is Salvi B.
Hey, what's up, Broman?
Is how I say it. God, never fucking learn my ears. Okay. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
I'm doing super awesome, man. I'm having some good conversations with y'all, and I am in love with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, I've been following you for a while. I actually found you on Streaming 101 back when I found out what Twitch was back in like 2015.
How did you I'm always curious. How did you find Streaming 101?
So, it was actually like it was like a family party, and my cousin was like, "Hey, do you know what Twitch is? I think you'd be good at it." And I was like, "I have no idea what that was." And then he explained what it was, and then I'm a podcast listener. I love podcasts.
Sure,
So I was like, you know what? Let me look this up. So I started typing in like Twitch and Streaming 101 was the first thing that popped up. So
really? Cool.
Yeah.
That top ranking search result.
Yeah, it was nice. So I listened to you guys, listened to honestly like over and over again for like probably a good month. I just kept cycling through the episodes and cycling. Then about a couple months later, I decided to actually probably go into streaming and give it a shot on Twitch. So I've been doing it since January of this year.
Since January this year? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since everyone's going to be curious now, where can they find you?
It's Salvi B. It's, twitch.tv/Salvi B
You
on
want to go
Twitter.
ahead and spell that for all the people?
Sure. SALVEYB.
All right. There you go. I said your name wrong a lot.
Oh, it's all yeah. You've called me Slavey, and I'm like, you know what? It's cool. It's Broman, man.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's name is really like, I don't know, like if that's like I didn't get it.
No, it's actually.
I have dyslexia, so like I look at his name and I'm like, I don't know why this guy would put slave in his name, but he sure did. Like maybe he's into S&M. That was the first thing I thought when I saw your name. Legitimately,
Yeah, no.
I was like, I bet this dude likes to get tied the fuck up. Like that's.
Oh God. Yeah, ball in the mouth and chin. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, that's like legitimately what I thought, and I was like, whatever, man. You know, let your kink flag fly, bro. Like, you get on it. Okay, so now that I've thoroughly embarrassed you.
No, it's all good. My real name is Salvatore, so hence Salvi. But it's a nickname.
I got it. So what can I do for you?
So I have like a two-parter, but it makes sense, and you'll be able to answer.
It's all good, bro. I
I
like multi-part questions. Cool. It's all hot and sexy.
So, I've obviously listened to Streaming 101, spoke to you a few times through chat and all this stuff. So what I always see is that like everybody says the way to attract more followers is get on social media.
Sure.
So I did that on social media. I pump out like, what should I do today on stream, all this stuff, hang out in other people's chats. But I noticed that like one of the harder things I have is like to get followers just to come in, because I've seen that like my retention has been pretty good.
Sure.
Like as far as like when they get in, they stay. I've been hosted a few times. I had like 100 people. I went nuts because 100 people for somebody like me who's doing like 15 to 10 a night. It's like
I remember my first like raid host or some random fuck. It wasn't a raid or a host, but like the first time I had 100 viewers when I was used to like 10, it was mind blowing.
Oh my God, dude. I was going nuts. I started dancing on stream and everything.
Nice.
So basically, I was just wondering if you have any advice as far as like bringing those followers in. But then additionally, like when on Fridays, I do this thing where I go on Facebook Live just to like try it out. And I was wondering that like, what you thought about that as well. So almost like my main thing is on Twitch, trying to bring people in, but then I go on Facebook Live to try to get them to go to Twitch.
Okay. Interesting. Let me think here. So I have a couple questions for you. Sure. One, how's Facebook Live been going? Do you feel like, because I checked it out the other day, right? Because I'm always trying to do my like market research and learn.
Sure.
There didn't seem to be a wealth of gaming content on Facebook Live, nor what Facebook Watch, which is like their video platform.
You're right. So there's not a lot going on. I think it's because it's really hard for you to find somebody who's live unless you're following them.
Discoverability. Okay.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. But like at one point, like again, I was really excited, but I was the top PUBG streamer for one night where there was like 250 people watching me at like one time.
Sure.
So, but then again, there was only like 10 people streaming it. So
doesn't matter.
I just try to capitalize on that. And then but I've had
it's a land grab. You're the first person there. Like you get to claim whatever the fuck you want.
Right. Exactly. That's how I was thinking. But then there was nights where like literally nobody, like zero people.
It's unstable right now. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. But then on Twitch, I usually go between 5 and 15 on a normal day. So on a normal night. So, just trying to like figure it all out.
Yeah. Okay. So, Facebook's really interesting, right? I have recently started even interacting with people on Facebook because I was being a pragmatic, ignorant asshole and be like, I don't need to use Facebook. I don't need one more fucking social media bullshit. I got Twitter,
Totally, man, totally.
But I started using it to just push videos to make them easily shareable on Facebook, because Facebook's like one of the biggest sharing platforms in the world. So you can put something on Facebook, it has a greater % chance of going viral and getting like a disproportionate return on like what is literally 15 seconds of goddamn work.
Exactly.
Just posting it. So,
but then you have people who are actually paying for ads too. So I'm kind of like, I got 2 kids. I got a mortgage and all that stuff, so
you're in a situation where paying for ads is not something you can do. So here are my thoughts. The highest concurrency you've ever had was actually on Facebook, right?
Yes.
Facebook's another. It sort of just got on my radar because like I'm a dinosaur sometimes. But Facebook has proven time and again that they know how to, like, if they want to lean really hard at something, they will, and they will do at least a second place job of it, right? Like, they're a smart company. Like they bought Instagram. Like they're smart. So if Facebook feels like their live platform is where the next move is, they're going to jump at it really hard. They're going to do stuff like get a bunch of engineers on discoverability. How can we push people to stay inside of our ecosystem so they never leave Facebook? They are Facebook for live content, posts from, their angry grandpa. So all political and pre-recorded videos. Yeah,
that's what I was using. So, and then I was trying to convert those people to go over to Twitch. I just don't know who have Twitch.
Well, yeah, I mean, trying to convert your audience to travel through, like, follow you everywhere is always a smart idea, right? Because that's going to keep you relevant no matter where you're at. And that's for a content creator, like for longevity, having multiple platforms to work on is huge and super important. For somebody like me, like that's something I don't worry about it. I focus on it. Like,
gotcha.
I need to, like, that's why I started using Facebook. That's why I got on Instagram. That's why I'm learning how to use fucking Snapchat.
Right.
Even though I'm an absolute, I will. You want an embarrassing story? I'm going to get to your answer, I promise, but I just love talking to you. So I'm sorry.
Cool,
sorry. You're so great to talk to, asshole. But I downloaded Snapchat because we're trying to learn it. I'm trying to learn it, how to fucking use it, so we can use it as like an advertising platform for King's Coast, so we can put video ads on there that don't look like a bunch of middle-aged men made them. They're like, hey, young children, would you like to enjoy some coffee boxes?
Yeah, watch how cool we are.
Look how cool we are. Yeah, so I've been trying to, and I spent 15 fucking minutes staring at my own fucking face, trying to figure out how the hell to operate Snapchat. Like, I was like, I get it. Like, I can snap, I can fucking take a picture. Like, it took me 15 minutes to figure out, like, at the top, there's a search bar and I can type in it. And then, like, if I swipe left twice, there's where discoverability comes in. And I was like, fuck. Like, so I'm trying to learn all these social media platforms because, like, I don't know, dude, Twitch could go defunct in 5 years and I want to be able to still operate somewhere.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah. So there's my framework behind all this, and where I'm at, kind of parallel with you. So gotcha. Here I think you have 2 choices, right? You could keep growing on Twitch, you could keep investing time on Twitch, or you can say, like, I learned all of this stuff on Twitch, and now I'm gonna make a bet on Facebook Live being the next thing, and I'm gonna start broadcasting on Facebook Live because there's no gaming content there, and I will, because there's no gaming content, you have you have an infinitely higher percent chance of becoming their biggest broadcaster or inside of their top 100, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's almost like the Wild Wild West right now.
It is. I mean, like Twitch is still very wild. So like Facebook is like fucking Antarctica. Like there's like penguins and like 5 or 6 fucking people when it comes to gaming content.
Yeah, just to add to that, one thing I was thinking was one of the problems that Facebook Live is going to have is there's nobody can be anonymous. Like you can't hide behind that username.
Sure.
So it's like people are like actually like it's them. That's who they are until they make a spam account, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's great protection for you intellectually. It'll keep you sane, and it should keep trolling. It should keep trolling down, but it won't.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah.
You know, this is a really interesting question. So I think you do have, I think that you do have a really like honest, you know, like it's tough. Like you can look at Twitch and be like, okay, well, I have sunken time into Twitch and I want to keep growing on Twitch and all this other stuff.
And I love Twitch too.
And you love Twitch, which is a great, I mean, it's a great platform. It feels good to be on Twitch for sure. And Twitch leverages that hard to keep people here and to acquire new users and new broadcasters.
Even the new upload they had today with the whole rating thing is like, you know, they're revolutionizing it. They're changing it.
Oh, are raids now live for everyone?
It's or like I mean, I got an email about it, so unless that's not
I
sure.
mean, I didn't like. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't check my email, so we'll figure it out. But you have Twitch definitely feels good. But if you're trying to be as practical as possible, like, you need to take feeling out of it, right?
Gotcha.
And like it still needs to feel good, but if what feels good is broadcasting, you should take your broadcast to a location where you feel like you have the most opportunity for growth if that's your goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the goal. I mean, I'm at work right now. Like, I'm hiding in a closet trying to talk to you.
Yeah. I got you. So, yeah, I mean, the other thing, I almost forgot to tell you this. So there are some websites. One of them, I think it's called Restream.io. It allows you to stream into their service. They split it and send it to other places. I think you can do up to 2 channels for free there. So if you wanted to simulcast, because you're not an affiliate, are you?
No.
Cool. So if you wanted to simulcast, since you're not contractually bound to not, which is one of the big legal reasons why Twitch introduced affiliates, by the way, chat. You are not contractually bound to separate your broadcasts from Twitch and another platform.
That makes sense.
You can actually stream on Twitch and Facebook Live at the same time. And yeah, it's going to involve like you understanding how to operate to Restream.io.
All right. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I highly you can do up to 3 channels for free, YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch. I wouldn't be surprised if they add more, because I think they will. There was a lot of options. Like you could multi-stream on Twitter as well.
Okay.
Last time I checked it out. So check it. Restream.io.
Okay, cool.
And like, I don't know, like, I think for you, that would be a really powerful tool. Like, as long as you can kind of manage the live interaction, which it doesn't sound like it'll be too difficult for you, because you're not being overwhelmed. It's not like you have 300 viewers on each of those places. Like, you can learn how to intellectually juggle the different chat rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
And it allows you to do sort of like an exploratory party. If it's not depreciating the value, like the quality of the content you're producing, it is 100% worth trying.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, man. I appreciate the time and that thorough answer.
I mean, I don't know, man. You're in a really unique spot. Like, if it was 5 years ago, I would have been like, Twitch, that's it. Like, this is the only game in town. And now there are other players showing up, and you, like, new broadcasters really have opportunities, because live content's big right now. And I think it's going to continue growing as it decentralizes off of television.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You have a real option of like choosing a network affiliation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a free agent.
Yeah, basically. You fucking get it. You get it.
I do my best.
I love that you get it so hard, bro.
I drink my get woke in the morning, so
you did. You fucking woke the hell up, man.
Hell yeah, man.
You fucking woke up, bro. All right,
Fuck
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was awesome talking with you. Again,
dude.
tell everybody where they can find you and include where they can find you on Facebook.
Sure. So it's Salveyb, Salveyb, and that's on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. So it's
Oh, cool.
facebook.com/Salveyb.
Yeah.
So I have it all set up.
I love it, man. This
Cool,
is
dude.
this was good. This is a good conversation, dude. I hope nothing but the best for you. I would love
Thank
to
you,
like
man.
follow up in like, 3-4 months and see
Done.
where it's at and get your read on how your experiments went, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it would be great. I'll hit you up sometime in 3 to 4 months.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you
All
later.
right, thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, anytime, dude. Bye. What a neat conversation, man. What a neat conversation, man. I learned while I was talking there. Because I usually the conversations are, well, when we have them, it's like the gaming broadcasting platforms, but I have been trying to pay a little bit more attention to Facebook, and I noticed last time, like, there's no gaming broadcasts on Facebook, and if Facebook figures out a way to drive discoverability on live broadcasts, it's going to be a serious competitor for a lot of things. That guy almost got away. It's going to be a serious competitor for gaming, especially if they learn how to monetize it the right way for themselves and for the people who are streaming. Like if Facebook's like, hey, if you stream here, your ad revenue goes up by like 100 times. I'm just like, well, let me get my jacket. He's a cool guy. Cool guy. Really like that. All right, let's get this guy. His name is Panda, and I'm preemptively turning him down. We did it. First time turn down. Hey, Panda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful. How are you?
It's early, but I had to tune in, so it works out.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for tuning in.
No problem, man.
What can I do for you?
Okay, so this is about Twitch. It's about streaming. So I've been streaming on Twitch for on and off for the past like 5 or 6 years. I've run into a lot of real life stuff that's caused me to just not have the time to stream.
Absolutely. Shit happens.
Yeah, exactly, and it's the worst, but it happens, and you got to move on with it. So I have, I mean, and I feel like I've done well over the years. Like I used to stream League of Legends when I first started, and I used to have 80 to 100 viewers. But when I stopped streaming, they all left, which is it makes sense because
sure. League's also crazy volatile.
Yeah,
view count wise, anyway. Yeah.
But I mean, I've got like 28,000 views on my channel, over 1,000 followers. But it seems like none of those followers are coming back at all. Like only I get maybe 7 to 10 viewers when I stream. And I've been trying to, start streaming with Destiny because I have this clan that, is pushing some really cool new stuff. And I'm trying to get the clan out there and all that other kind of stuff too. And
awesome.
I'm just kind of trying to figure out what you think is a good way to get those followers to return, because I'm just having issues keeping them coming back. Like they always tell me that I have cool content, they like it, but then they don't come back.
It's a fucking hard battle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hard battle, especially when you have broadcast for a while and you kind of on and off with the consistency due to whatever. And that I'm going to say the shitty thing first, like consistency is super key and you weren't consistent. So that's why you're in this position. But I think you already know that.
Yeah.
So the first thing that comes to my mind is this, Twitch let out, like a data analytics. I can't remember, like 6 months ago from their data science team, which, anyone listening, if you're a broadcaster, on Twitch, pay attention to anything that the data science team ever publishes on the blog, because the amount of power that information has over your ability to fine-tune your content is fucking insane. So I'm going to tell you the thing that I learned from them that I think is really applicable here. Most broadcasters on Twitch stop broadcasting within 90 days of their first broadcast. So that is to say, it's 80%, I believe was the number they threw out there. So if you can commit to a schedule and start broadcasting and you're there for longer than 3 months consistently, you've already beaten 80% of the people playing the game. Make sense?
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
so as like a first move mentally, I would sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to make a schedule and I'm going to stick to it no matter what for 90 days. Because that's just sort of like a good way to reestablish yourself. People get used to tuning in, and that could help reacquire some of your followers, because the people who follow you they might not even be on Twitch anymore as well. Like there's that reality. There's user attrition, and Twitch doesn't really delete old accounts too often. So you're looking at reestablishing yourself, sort of approaching it like it's brand new. But you have a bonus of, you said there's like 10 to 15 people that tune in.
Yeah, roughly between like 7 is my lowest I think I have right now, and
Sure.
then, like my top is about 15.
Yeah, absolutely. So you already have some people tuning in, which puts you acres and miles ahead of folks who are starting from zero. So you're in a good position. So like my first advice would be that stream consistently for 3 months. And then take the feedback that you're getting out of that. Like, what times are the best for you? What games seem to bring you higher concurrency? What did you and did you not enjoy about like broadcasting, when you did, with who you did, all that stuff. Like, start cracking down and like hacking at that information, because you're getting a lot of info while you're broadcasting. So doing those two things would probably give you a really strong path forward. Unfortunately, I don't think that there's anything like you could do to just pull all 1,000 of those people back.
Sure.
Unless do you have like how much do you operate on the other social platforms? Like, do you have do all these people follow you on Twitter too? Like, are they on...
I mean, I do have a Twitter.
Sure.
I just, like, I want to say I just came back streaming this last time about a month and a half ago.
Sure. So you're already halfway through.
Yeah. So I was kind of
Solid.
like, oh, 3 months? That's not that bad. I'm already halfway done.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. So I actually got my Twitter back up like a month and a half ago, because I've never really been a social media guy. Like, I've had a Facebook, but I rarely post. I'm just not, like, I don't, people don't need to know everything I do, is kind of how I was before I started streaming.
Yeah.
And so like now I'm realizing, social media is really important if you're trying to get your name out there. So I've been trying to do my best to change my attitude on it. It's been proving difficult, but I've been doing my best to try and get used to posting, when I'm going live. And I have a Discord, and I always post in my Discord when I'm going live.
Solid.
So I'm used to that, and so I'm just trying to like take that mentality and put it into like Twitter and Facebook and things like that.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like, the fact that you've overcome your stubbornness and now you're willing to be adaptive on other platforms is huge. You heard me say like 3 times before we got together, like, I'm a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a dinosaur. I fucking hate new things, and I had to fucking eat my pride and get over it. Like, my ego was slowing down my progress because I was refusing to pick up new things. Like, I have enough. It's never enough. Like, ultimately it's not. So there's that. And then one more thing came into my mind. You could always do like an event, right? Like a big sort of like, we're building to this. You could capstone your 3 months with it or something, like a really long stream, or just like something special that fits your channel. And this is where like the creative part comes in, right? Like, I can't tell you what you should do, but if you're good at, the creative side, you're going to think of something, you'll notice something like, wow, like if I did a fucking 18-hour stream of this, people would dig it. Because your audience better than anyone else.
Sure.
And doing something like that as a capstone to like bring more people back, or hopefully more people in at the same time, would probably be really helpful. And it's always nice to celebrate with your viewers, like whatever it is.
That makes sense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any follow-up questions? I know I hit you with like a fuck ton of information.
I mean, a lot of the stuff is stuff that I've kind of already been thinking about.
Sure.
So it was just kind of like getting that reassurance that I'm moving in the right direction from someone
Absolutely.
who's obviously made it work.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that the only other follow-up question I would have is because I am trying to stick with Destiny, and I think just the other day you had mentioned that you didn't think Destiny was a good place for newer streamers just because it already has like a good community built in from one and things.
Keep going. Sorry, I wanted to interrupt you. Keep going.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. So it was just like I really am. I'm enjoying Destiny. It's what I'm having the most fun with right now, and I found that with streaming, if you're not having fun, you're not entertaining. So I feel like that's really where I want to be.
Sure.
And so I guess my only other question would be, even though you don't think it's necessarily the best place for a newer streamer to try and build a following, is do you have any tips for building a following with Destiny?
Sure. So the comment you're referring to and the perspective is, it's not that I think Destiny's bad. I think that it's not as good as when it first launched, right? When it first launched, it was a brand new IP and then the whole world fucking shit on it, but it didn't matter because it was still good enough that a massive horde of people still played the game every day, millions. That is sort of like a perfect storm for building your channel on Twitch, like a long-term IP that is on a volume or populace level well received, and just by showing up every day people would find you. Destiny 2 is sort of got sequelitis, like it's got as far as like the community building aspect, it's not brand new, so there's already all these built-in critiques, this negativity, this other stuff that was sort of easy to roll off your shoulders when you're like, it's their first fucking game, like you fucking just chill out, it's their first game. And now it's like, well, it's a sequel, so some of those heavier critiques hit harder. So the thing that is, when I was talking about on stream was that you are going to have a harder time building your channel with Destiny because it's just not new anymore. Does that make sense? So
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
But here's the flip side of that. Destiny is it's a cyclical content cycle, right? So there is always going to be rises and falls in how many people are paying attention to the game. So the long-term bet, if you're loving Destiny 2 for you, and this is the light after all the fucking shit, when new content drops, if it hits hard and you have been there, people are gonna look for you. Oh shit, this is the guy that plays blah. Like, I want to go fucking watch Panda right now because he's fucking been there and I've hung out with him. And then now you have these people who have been trickling in and out of your stream all show up at the same time, and suddenly you have 100 concurrent viewers.
Gotcha. So
it is ultimately my advice always is to play what you love on Twitch, because that's going to help you put on your best show. The rest of it, the data science, the analytics, the whatever that you're looking at, it is important, but there are two perspectives to everything. And so if you love Destiny, you just need to kind of like personally accept the fact, like if that's what you want to stream, you're playing a much longer game, and you're playing a game that is kind of betting on Bungie dropping a DLC and it hitting really, really hard and everybody loving it, which is not a bad bet. I mean, the past 3 years of my channel has been built on that concept, and it's worked out all right for me,
Yeah, exactly. And I've been doing this long enough, and I've just finally decided like I need to be more consistent, and I'm in a good place in life now, so hopefully life doesn't screw me over again, and hopefully it works out this time is kind of where I'm at. So
yeah, man,
I'm all for the long game.
That's great. How old are you? 23. The fact that you're sitting there and you're 23 and you're willing to play like a game of patience that is setting you apart. So that's good. Like, your patience is probably going to be your biggest asset. Like, a lot of people are fucking impatient, but if you're not, you're willing to wait to win. That's awesome. That's what it takes a lot of the time, is to just fucking wait and keep grinding at it.
Well, thanks for the words of wisdom.
Hell yeah, man. I love the place where you're at, and I loved your questions, and you're clearly passionate about it, which is awesome. It's huge. Can you games, so. Yeah, fucking yeah, you do. I can tell. I can fucking tell. can you tell everybody where to find you on all of your socials so they can hunt you down? And if you need to spell it out because it's got a weird spelling, please do so.
I don't think it has a weird spelling. It's pretty easy. But on Twitch, it's A_rescue_panda.
Okay.
And on Twitter, it's just a rescue panda, no underscores.
Gotcha.
And YouTube is the same. I don't have a Facebook made specifically for me. I just use my personal. So I'm working on getting one made for me, but that will also be a rescue panda with no underscores once I get
solid, man.
So yeah, but thanks for the help. I appreciate it, man.
All right, dude. I want nothing but the best for you, man. I hope you get out there and just fucking crush everything.
Awesome. I appreciate it, man. Have a good rest of your stream.
Me too, man. I'll talk to you later. All right, guys, that wraps it up. That is our fourth episode of Ask Broman. Holy shit. Such good conversations today. I was not expecting to talk about any of that stuff, but goddamn, I loved it. If you're listening on iTunes or wherever, any podcast platform, make sure you follow everything that involves the podcasting and share it with your buds and your lady friends and your dog and your grandma. And yeah, we will be back again for episode 5. If you want to know how to get in on this, we stream this live on Twitch multiple times a week. You can follow me on Twitter at Professor Broman. I like to vary the time schedule so we can get a different group of people. So I'll announce it the day before, usually on Twitter, and then you just show up, you hop in my Discord channel, and we chat. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you guys next time for episode 5 of Ask Broman. You guys are great. You're beautiful.